done. 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 It's done. I got to say, this was amazing. Mockingjay. Wow. What an awesome book. What an awesome ending to an awesome trilogy of books. And I have completed the Hunger Games challenge in like record freaking time. Remember the challenge that I put myself earlier? I said that if I could read this, Catching Fire, let me show you right here. If I read this baby in like a month, then I would then immediately proceed to read Mockingjay. If I didn't finish this book in a month, if it took me over a month, I would have to wait a month until I read this. Now, if I read this in 2 weeks or less, which it took me 2 weeks exactly, I would have about only 2 weeks to read this book. It took me 4 days. 4 days to read this thing. If it took me that long to finish that book, the wait that I would have had to endure to read this thing would have been unbearable. It would have been unbearable. This book was amazing. And that's a thing I can't believe that I'm saying. I'm saying that I read a book series and it was incredible. I mean, look at this. Look at my. I mean, like, I'm a gamer who's a music enthusiast who loves movies and comic books and food, and all of a sudden books. Something I never thought. I mean, this thing just engaged me. I mean, I would have finished it while I was at work, but work kept me pretty busy. Kept me pretty busy. I mean, I do the night shift. I don't slack off. It's just that there are patches of times where, you need something to entertain you, and reading this thing, you get lost, and hours can just literally pass by, and all of a sudden you're just like, you've gone from here to here, you're done with part 1, then you're done with part 2, and all of a sudden you're in the last part, and boom, it's like you're done. I was like 20, I like 30, maybe 20 pages at the least of what I had left, and wow, that is a totally amazing experience. What happened, and I finished reading this baby, and my weekends officially started on my brand new schedule. But I want to make this all about the experience, and I wanted to just express everything overall, just kind of give like this big, huge compilation of everything about the Hunger Games. I mean, it all started with the movie, which I've seen like 8 or 9 times already, because I don't know, maybe less, but I don't know. When I saw it in the movies, I wanted to go see it again. When it came out on pay-per-view, I saw it again, and then on Netflix, I saw it like twice. So it's like less than half, like 8 or like 4 or 5 times, I think. But I find myself wanting to watch it again. I don't know what it is about the Hunger Games that fascinated me. It was just like this entire story. How you get to experience like a character that is like very human and very real and very flawed and very, human. I say human again because this is what Katniss Everdeen is. I mean, even in a world where you see this amazing tech and it's post-nihilist, different like apocalyptic world where you're being oppressed by this capital city, and they are, having to, fall under the will of this, capital that's constantly staring at them. I mean, they need them, but they know they're being feared and controlled, and they press these Hunger Games as a continuous reminder that we own you, And it wasn't until like the end of the first of the movie and the Hunger Games the book, and I realized that this is just about to begin. And then Catching Fire started, and Catching Fire is a very interesting experience because it feels like she never actually ended playing the games. It's like a continuation. And the theme throughout the majority of this entire series is how, yes, they used her a lot. I mean, she is a person who doesn't know how to handle herself around people. So people constantly have to assist her in things and help her, and I don't know how my hair looks. We'll worry about that later. It's kind of hot in here. And she has a mind of her own, but not knowing how to handle herself pretty much, it just kind of sort of led to this, having people caring for her constantly. I mean, when the quarter quell came in the second in the second book, it was almost like, wow, we're almost reliving this again. In a way, it seems worse. and then this baby happens, and then it feels like Katniss is a slip in the reality. I mean, her faith in people, her friendship with Gale, her relationship with Peeta, her bondship with her family, it just gets all put into the test, and it just keeps hitting her hard again and again and again and again. And this is just this one freaking just you'd expect her to break, but it ends on a high, on a good note, and that's all I'm gonna say. But maybe it doesn't. Oh, you gotta read this. I'm a little late to the party because according to this thing was published. I think I don't know when it was published. I can't see where it was published, but yeah, 2010. So I mean, I think it was 2010. I think it was like it says Jacket Art by Tim O'Brien, 2010, Scholastic Inc. So yeah, I'm a little late in the party. In 2009, the Catching Fire was out. I mean, it's like, and just last year we got the first of the Hunger Games. We're getting the second one, Catching Fire, this year, and in 2014 and 15, we're getting the first and second part of this one. We're getting Mockingjay. And I was going to give like this rant about what I felt about that, but I honestly don't care. I mean, I don't care if Hollywood is splitting this thing down the middle so they can milk the franchise an extra movie. I do not care. I cannot care less. If you can give us more movie and more scenes and more Katniss and more Peeta and more Gale and more war and more violence and more story, I have a feeling that these movies are going to be freaking awesome. I mean, I'm probably one of the few people that will say stuff good about Francis Lawrence's movie Constantine. I mean, that's the one movie that comes to mind when I think of Francis Lawrence. And he did Constantine, and yeah, Constantine didn't follow the plot of the of the books at all. I mean, didn't even follow the characters. It's sort of like a take on the character. But you know what? I really liked that movie. I really did. I really liked the visuals. I really liked the story was pretty nice too. I mean, I trust that. I mean, I would have liked if they've given Gary Ross another chance. I did not hate the Hunger Games. I have no reason to think that under Gary Ross it wouldn't have been successful. I think if I had him there, wouldn't have been any problems. But now I think it's time that we acknowledge that these movies that are going to come out, they're going to be this series is going to get elevated to a higher level. And I mean, it's not Suzanne Collins doesn't need this. I mean, the books themselves have pretty much made her a household name, and it's just amazing how these books just engrossed me. I mean, I don't know what happened. I think the reason was I was thinking about it hard, and the conclusion was correct. I think Anne is a freaking genius. Anne is she said that basically what happened was that I knew what the Hunger Games, the first book, was about. I've seen the movie. I was reading as the things were happening, and I was seeing them. I was seeing the characters, and I'm seeing that, oh no, they did this in the movie, and then there's that in the movie. However, I really like the fact that they add more details in it, and I was thinking to myself, would have been great if they have added these things into the movie. It wouldn't have been a rated PG-13 movie, and it's scathed to the point of it being rated R, as far as I can tell. I mean, and these books don't have any profanity in them that I can tell. I mean, anything that will be just like they don't drop any f bombs at all. I remember this. I mean, I didn't see a single f bomb. I don't even think they said shit throughout this entire thing. I mean, it's a very intensive book. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. It's not like you need the language to like accentuate and make things like whatever. But you know what? I honestly really don't see this one being a PG-13. You cannot make this a PG-13 book. You may make part one that maybe. I doubt it. But then again, maybe. But part two, where things really start to look at which things are pick up, I don't think so. I think you're gonna probably have to realize the reality of the situation, Francis Lawrence and everyone in charge, is that you have to take a stand, and you got to be like, you know what? Yeah, you could make it PG-13 so that everyone who is allowed to see these movies can go see them. But you know what? The people that read these books, these teens that read these books, there's a lot of graphic violence in this thing. I mean, and in the other one too. So, I mean, it's okay for you to read it, but you're seeing what you've already read. You know, that's why you're seeing this movie. You want to see the depiction of what you've read on the screen. And I think if they do rated R, I think they will not hold back on the graphics, on the graphic nature of this story, on this conclusion. Maybe they won't hold back much on Catching Fire. We haven't seen much or heard much about Catching Fire. I mean, there was this like trailer that they showed. The majority of what they showed was just like parts of like the very beginning, and they haven't shown much of anything else, and they probably won't. I just remember the trailer when I saw the trailer for the Hunger Games. I wasn't impressed. It was like a minute and a half maybe, and I was like, whoa, wow, okay. And there's like the Hunger Games, and I was like, I saw it in theaters as well. I was like, and then everybody started going crazy. I was like, oh my god, the Hunger Games are coming into theaters. I was like, I gotta see this, and I saw it. And Jennifer Lawrence, I mean, she doesn't need X-Men First Class. She doesn't need the next one, Days of Future Past. She does not need to play Mystique. She is set for freaking life. Get her back, focusing on being Katniss Everdeen. Seriously. And I do not see any other actress playing Katniss Everdeen. Jennifer Lawrence played her perfectly. And I think, considering the level of acting that she's done, I saw Winter's Bone. She is seriously depicts this girl who's beaten around just trying to find out who killed her dad, and she is like this determined, this strong, this defiant person. And I remember, I mean, Katniss gets beaten up a lot and brutalized, and just like it just seems like her body is on the verge of death, and sometimes it's also on the verge of, of Will's just giving up, just take me away, just kill me. And all of a sudden, no, not yet. That's sort of kind of what I embodied. I was envisioning Jennifer Lawrence going through all this. That's the advantage of seeing a movie that's already portrayed these characters pretty well. And I'm imagining Judge Hutcherson, Peter, throughout the entire three movies. I'm imagining what he's gonna do. I'm imagining Liam Hemsworth, I think. Liam Hemsworth. Chris is Thor. I mean, like those two look alike. Seriously. I mean, you see him, and you saw his brother Chris in Cabin in the Woods. You confuse them too. Seriously, not, but seriously, Liam Hemsworth. You can imagine Woody Harrelson. You can imagine Elizabeth Banks. You can imagine everybody, and you're seeing them as you're reading the book, and you're getting excited. You're getting excited. You want to see these characters, and I am honestly just the whole experience was great, and it was wonderful. And I read these books not to finish the games. I could literally not stop. Catching Fire, I could have probably finished it quicker, but I found myself kind of putting it away, but not enough because I saw it. I mean, I did not know where these books were going. So I think that's why I finished them. Going back to what I was talking about earlier about Anne, about how she kind of pretty much predicted, it's like, the reason is because you don't know what's going to happen. And there you go. This is the result. I did not know what was going to happen with Mockingjay, and as I now patiently wait, I know how the whole story envelops, and for the first time ever, I'm going to go into a movie knowing what the book is about, and hopefully when 2014 comes out and Mockingjay Part 1 starts, I'm going to be very, very taken by this experience. I'm gonna go on opening night. I'm going to see that movie, and I'm going to go to opening night to see Catching Fire as well. There is no force from heaven or hell that's going to keep me from seeing every stinking one of these movies when they come out. I mean, maybe not all of them will be on the midnight release, although I would love to go see them on the midnight release. I mean, seriously, I'll take a day off. I'll swap a shit with somebody if I have to, but now it'll be like the patient wait, because we're in 2013. The next movie comes at the end of each respective year afterwards. So we're talking about 3 years worth of Hunger Games movies that are going to be coming out. And that, to me, is a little bit of a... God, you got to be patient, of course, because, Jennifer Lawrence has a full plate on herself, too. Liam Hemsworth's in other movies. Josh Hutcherson's in other movies. All these people, all these actors, it's hard to get them back into these roles, but they just they just fit. They are the faces. I mean, they've already. I cannot imagine Katniss being played by anybody other than Jennifer Lawrence. I cannot imagine anybody else other than Donald Sutherland playing President Snow. And then Donald Sutherland, I'm worried more about him because he's probably one of the oldest people in that cast. I mean, do you think he'll last till the very end? I mean, till Mockingjay is completely shot and and is in post production. I mean, like, I hope he does. I really mean, he definitely takes care, and I do think he really likes playing this role. And you don't see him play too many villains, and recently, I guess, but I've always liked Donald Sutherland, and I liked him in this movie. And there were a couple of other people that I saw that I then, and overall, what does this whole thing encompass to? It encompasses to one thought. I love the Hunger Games. I love the books. I love the movie. And, you know, I cannot wait for Catching Fire to come this year. Now, that being said, the Hunger Games challenge is officially completed. I successfully completed. I was able to read Mockingjay in less than 2 weeks. I read it in less than a week. I mean, seriously, that is insane. That is seriously insane. And now it's like time to decide what will be my consolation prize, because I've been thinking about the conditions, about the things I'm going to take away from myself if I do not read these books when I said that I was going to read them. And now I honestly, I'm going to be thinking about it a little bit, and I want to get myself something nice, so we'll see what happens. And I definitely am looking forward to what I come up with. If I decide what I'm going to do, I'm just like, because, I mean, getting myself a game, I mean, that would be somewhat of a compensation, but I feel as though this thing is kind of a bigger accomplishment than just, like, you know, acing a test in my world. I mean, at least doing something I've never read through a book, no illustrations, and I had to basically kind of just like get immersed with what you're reading. I mean, seriously, I mean, I've always strayed away from reading, and this is sort of like an interesting turn, you know. 30 years old, and it took a year to finish one book. It took only 2 weeks to finish the second, and in a record 4 days, I finished exactly 400 pages, just like the previous one before, and that's my benchmark. 4 days. 4 days. Yeah. This is the benchmark. Mockingjay set a good benchmark for me. So now it's pretty awesome. So I'm done with the Hunger Games challenge. I will post updates in future blogs about what I decide to do. But in the meantime, I'm kind of hungry. I'm kind of stinky because I came back from the gym as well. I kind of want to do something this morning. So if not, I'll go to sleep and then wake up later in the afternoon and do something in the afternoon. And I'm going to put these 2 books, and hopefully when Noah gives me back the other one, or I'll just buy the hardcover Hunger Games and just let him keep that one, because I don't know, I mean, these books look nice, you know, don't you agree? I mean, they look kind of nice, and oh, there we go. And I would like to have the hard book cover, one that says Hunger Games, not just the paperback one, but I will keep that one because that is literally the first book. I mean, I'll let Noah read it, but I mean, I think that book might have a little bit of too much of a sentimental value. I was thinking, I'll give it to him. Like, no, I'm sorry. I can't give away the first book I actually read and finished, because one of these days, who knows? It could be a hand-me-down, and they're gonna read that book, and you know. But yes, the games are finished, and it's now time to put these away until maybe I take them with me and read them again. Who knows? But anyway, guys, that's it. It's a extended, long, showing a long blog about me and the Hunger Games. So, but I felt it was necessary to explain to you guys why this series meant the way it meant to me. So, I would end with the same way like I've been ending. May the odds be ever in your favor. Happy Hunger Games. But I'll end with this. Are the Hunger Games, the trilogy, they are an amazing, amazing trilogy. Real or not real? Most definitely real.